Revelation 3951. From the 3rd of January 1947. Mental depression, ignorance of the laws of nature and their effects. You humans are only able to fathom the laws of nature to a limited extent because this is my will as long as your soul has not reached a certain degree of maturity. However, you can break through the barriers I have set for you at any time with my help, and then every field will be accessible to you, every knowledge will be opened up to you, and all research will be possible for you. For then you will have me myself as your teacher who will truly instruct you correctly even in areas which require human intellectual activity in order to arrive at the right result. And thus you must possess spiritual maturity. For this, you must be in contact with me in your thoughts and actions. But as long as you lack this spiritual maturity, you will not be able to differentiate between truth and error, and thus also be incapable of fathoming forces, determining their cause and effect and utilizing them accordingly. You can certainly carry out experiments at any time and seemingly increase your knowledge, but you can also work with the support of that power whose constant endeavor is to destroy my works over which it has no control itself. And therefore I will never bless such attempts unless they are purely works of charity, attempts to help needy humanity without wanting to gain any advantage for yourselves. Then all powers will also become subject to you, then you will be able to use them without restriction and have the greatest successes to record, for then you will also have reached a certain degree of spiritual maturity which guarantees you right and true thinking, and you will be able to enrich your experiences and be beneficially active. But humanity has now reached such a low level that even the researchers work without me, that they are only purely intellectually active and only strive to utilize the forces of nature for the sake of earthly success. Thus I have set a limit for them which they cannot exceed due to their wrong attitude towards me and matter. And thus their research and calculations will not be free of error even though they are convinced of their correctness and experiment on it. The laws of nature are only partially known to you, for my emanation of strength is immense, it flows through the whole of infinity, and not arbitrarily and haphazardly, but according to my fundamental law from eternity distributed to all creations in such a way that their existence and preservation is assured as long as a work of creation has to fulfill its spiritual task. Thus the power is bound to a certain extent, it is adapted in its strength to the size of a work of creation, and, as long as the right proportion remains established, it will have a preserving and constructive effect. This is why the measure of strength cannot be arbitrarily increased, otherwise the effect is a destructive one. I myself, as creator from eternity, certainly have the power to cancel the effect or to distribute it such that a balance is created through the emergence and revival of new creations. Yet the human being lacks this power due to his imperfection, and thus a force triggered by his lack of understanding will fall back on himself. That is, it not only destroys those who are ignorant of my natural laws, but it destroys the whole work of creation which people carry for the purpose of maturing their souls. I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and reject the understanding of the prudent. As long as they approach research without me, their thinking will be clouded and the result wrong. And the result will be an uncalculated effect, a downfall of the work of creation, the preservation of which requires the right amount of strength flowing towards it. And thus the last work of destruction on this earth will be caused by human will, which does not aim at me but exclusively at matter, without being prevented by me. Because the time is fulfilled and the whole of humanity, apart from the small flock of my own, is ripe for destruction. Amen.